Hello, YouTube. How's it going? It is Friday, February 9th, and we're going to play a little bit of Phantasy Star Online. Now, I've just been looking on the Dreamcast Now website, and it appears as though there's quite a few people online, but not necessarily playing Phantasy Star. So I put out a shout out in the PSO Silver Rant Facebook group. Hopefully, we'll get some more people on board. That being said, it doesn't necessarily mean that people are not playing the game right now. It just means that they're not showing up on Dreamcast Now. So we'll check it out in a moment. But first, I want to show you guys a couple of pickups. Now, some of this stuff is kind of bizarre because as I've been really kind of like finding video games has really dried up out in the wild. But the one thing I've really been getting into and picking up recently is board games, and yeah, I've found a couple of cool ones, but I'll get to those in a moment. First thing I want to show you is I finally got this in the mail. So what is this? Well, this is a little piece that I needed in order to hook up a SATA drive to my good old PS2 Fat. Now, this one I completely restored. I gutted it completely back to everything, took out all the boards, cleaned them all down. There's not a speck of dust in it at all. You might notice on the front it's got some cool things. So it's got the wireless dongle for the Logitech controller, and that's easily the best controller for the PS2. It's really rugged for a third-party controller. Like it feels like Sony probably would have released this, but yeah, it's a really nice controller. It responds really well. There's no lag. You can generally find quite a few of these controllers online, but the trick is finding the controller with this little thing here, the dongle. So I ended up getting a PS2 lot from somebody on a local Facebook group and had quite a few cool games in it as well. But this right here was what I was most interested in. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work that well with the PS2 Slim. The PS2 Slim, just the way it's designed, the ridge doesn't quite fit into it properly. And because of that, the connection with the dongle never really takes, and then you just have issues playing with it. But what is this? Well, if you're lucky enough to have your Ethernet adapter at the back with the hard drive connector, you can pull this off, and what you'll see is that you've got the ability to plug in a old IDE hard drive. Now, the problem with that is that IDE hard drives are available. They're pretty old. So by now they're kind of prone to failing, and the size of them is, they're not the biggest. They generally you'll generally find like 40 to 300 gigabytes fairly regularly. You can get up to 2 terabytes, but those get costly now because people realize that they're highly sought after. So the alternative is switch all of this to SATA. So on eBay, there's quite a few different sellers, and the one I went with had a pretty good reputation. And they sold this, if I can just open the static bag here. And what it is a little PCB. I think it only cost me about $6 or $7 shipped. It's a little PCB, and ultimately what you do is you take out the old IDE cable and you replace it with this right there. And yeah, I've seen quite a few tutorials online. It seems to work perfect. So then you can plug in your 2.5-inch SATA drive, or if you have a 3.5-inch SATA drive into it, and should work fine. And those are generally pretty cheap, and they can get up to quite a, finding a 2 gig, 2.5 inch hard drive, a SATA drive, is not too difficult either. In fact, I just found a 500 gig SATA drive in an old PVR. So that's something to look out for. If you see people tossing PVRs, just remember there's hard drives in those things. So anyways, I will be getting to that sometime this weekend when I have a moment, and it should be a pretty simple mod. So then after you do that, you just throw in FreeMic Boot, you flash that to a USB, then you drop it on your memory card, and then I'll be able to make backups of the games I have, and then ultimately I think I'll probably sell the physical carts to a lot, or the physical discs to a lot of them. So that's what I got going on there. I'm just going to put this all back before I lose it. And the only other cool thing, well, I shouldn't say the only other cool thing, but the other new addition that I've been playing around with lately is a trade that I actually did for a board game. So I found a copy of Thunder Road. Unfortunately, I can't show you right now because it's been traded. A couple bucks, but it's a fairly sought after board game. And I ended up trading a guy for a new, ultimately, Nexus player. So if you don't know what the Nexus player is, that is the precursor to the Chromecast. Actually, I think the Chromecast and the Nexus player were released at the same time. It's still updated by Google. It's responsive to Google Assistant and everything like that. Works quite well. The only thing I had to buy for it was a Ethernet adapter because unfortunately it was only designed for Wi-Fi, and Wi-Fi is great. My Wi-Fi in my house is pretty good, but I wanted a wired connection just for stability. So fortunately, it just has a USB-B connector at the back, and you can get a USB-B to Ethernet plug-and-play adapter, and it's as easy as it sounds. Just plug it in the back, plug in your Ethernet, it connects automatically, it recognizes it, you don't have to fidget with anything. It's great, so the thing runs super smooth on my network, and I've been kind of playing around with that lately. I've never really set up a Plex server in the house, but I think I'm probably going to try that. And also using some apps that I've never used in the past, like Popcorn Time. I have used Kodi, but never really used it to its full extent and feel like I've mastered it. But you know, just trying to set up a media server in the basement. So those are the two big projects on the go. But let's jump into the game before we get too distracted and see who we can find tonight. So hopefully we can get a decent little team going. Last time we were playing, we were only able to complete one level, but you know, we had a pretty good group of people involved. I've been told online that I'm pronouncing Kuroheim's name wrong, and it's probably pronounced Kurohime, I believe. For the purposes of this, until that's confirmed, I'm going to just say Kuroheim. I'm sure I'm wrong. I'm sure that the person that informed me of that was correct, but you know, it's just what I've been calling that person since we started playing, and they've never said any different. So I guess we're just going to stick with that. Yeah. So maybe while this is loading, I'll just show you a couple more like little interesting things that I managed to grab out there in the wild. This is always useful. It's a full licensed version of Windows 7 Professional. And why is that useful? Because Windows 8 is terrible. I've never used Windows 10. And every time I use it, I get not frustrated, but it's not as intuitive as Windows 7 was. I think Windows 7 is probably Windows' last great operating system. And next time I build like a little, like just a computer or whatever like that, it's always good to have a licensed copy of Windows 7 on hand that you can throw in. So, all right, let's find our character data. And that's right, we don't have any cash because the last game we dropped it and one of our partners picked it up. I actually went through that little bit of the video just to see what exactly happened, and yeah, it looks like they picked it up intentionally, but that's all right. I'll let it slide. It's just Meseta. We've got more than enough Meseta. So okay, select ship. Let's see who we've got. Nobody on Acilia, nobody on Vega, a couple people in Altamira. Well, let's jump there. We generally have a lot of people in Block 1. You are going to be joining us on Saturday for the level 1. Actually, it's level 5 now that you have to have made it to. Games that are being hosted by Ross. The ship that we're going to be using is Acilia, so just be aware of that. Okay, DMC. Can't join, quest is in progress. Okay, no problem. Let's see who is here. Alright, I don't know any of those people, but that person is at a decent level. So let's just let them know that we are in game. Okay, I'm gonna let this person know. Send mail. Hey there, if you guys want a third just let me know when you're finished. And yes, cool. Okay, so we sent that one out. In the interim, while we're waiting for more people to jump in, why don't we create our own team? PSO version 2. As always, UGB. Difficulty Ultimate, and register. And see if anybody's going to join our game. Now today's a Quake night. I was tempted to jump in, but I'm not that great at Quake. Although it would have been kind of fun to play, so sorry, I'm just checking my messenger. There's somebody watching the stream who wants to know how to chat. You just have to sign into Google and just go to YouTube, and you should be able to, if you have a YouTube account, you should be able to chat on the stream. So yeah, this is a person that has my personal cell. Okay, let's close this all down and let's just turn off the ringer and alarms. Great. Cool. Do not disturb is on. All right, that was fun. You got to see me look at my cell phone. Okay, so let's jump into the forest and hopefully, actually, let's see what items we got on board right now. We've got anything that we need to? No, I guess not. And we used up all of our grinders on that Android rifle. Now, what kind of attributes does that Android rifle have, actually? Let's take a look. Okay, so it's pretty good. Okay, government high performance rifle based on the A35 rifle function. Well, sure. Okay, we've got that equipped right now. Let's give it a try in the forest and see how well it does. It's funny that you mentioned that. So we used to have LAN parties also back in the day. And yeah, for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, so LAN parties used to be basically before, well, I shouldn't say before, because online gaming is for PCs has always kind of been around, but a lot of games are designed just for local multiplayer. So if you wanted to start up a big game of, like the person in the chat was talking about Half-Life, you know, 8 or more people onto a game, what you're going to have to end up doing is getting everybody together in one room to play. So that can be a little bit difficult, as you might expect, because we're talking about a time when we're dealing with rather large computers. So friends and I would rent out a town hall for the weekend, and we would actually borrow his father's server that he got from work. It was a rather large server for the time. I think it had 20 ports or something like that on it, which, you know, not that it sounds common, but it's not terribly difficult to get a large server like that nowadays. I think at the time he said it cost something like $10,000 or something. It was quite expensive. So we get everybody together and we basically camp out in this town hall overnight. And we just play games. It was wonderful. And I think the big game that we used to play was probably Duke Nukem. A bit of Quake. Descent was always kind of fun. What else was also a good game to play multiplayer back in the day? I never really got into StarCraft, but Warcraft 2 was always a pretty popular one. And Doom 2. Compared to Duke Nukem, you know, it's definitely an inferior game in some respects, but it's pretty quick. I think it's a little bit quicker than Duke, and it's got its own charm. You can't jump, but you can strafe, and the maps were pretty well designed, especially for multiplayer. I think the thing that Duke suffered from was that there were a couple of maps that were perfect for multiplayer, but unfortunately there's also quite a few maps that were far too large, far too complicated, and if you only had 2 or 3 people in the game, it just wasn't fun because you wouldn't find them. Doom, on the other hand, had their maps perfected for multiplayer, so you'd always have them just the right size that you know, you could hide, but not so large that you would get lost either. Okay, these guys gotta die. So I keep forgetting that I don't have a partner with me right now. And because of that, I'm not being healed. So boom, boom. Okay, good stuff. And my shield seems to be working quite effectively, which tells me that I've finally got enough either defense or evade applied to my character that it's not going to die so quickly in battle. You can already kind of tell I'm able to hold my own against at least some of the lower level enemies in the game, but before we wouldn't even really last this long. So as sad as it sounds, and we're at level, what, 113 right now too, so, you know, there's really no excuse other than the fact that I did start my character off wrong. There are a couple of things that I am doing in the game that I probably should improve upon, like for instance this. We should probably feed our mag more often. Okay, cool, we got a level up, sweet. I'm not sure if we're going to get another evolution or another photon burst with this particular Dreamcast mag, but if anything, we should probably evolve it enough to level 200 so that we get a decent amount of ATA in our attacks. So that is the goal. We also have a couple of those other things that we can apply to regular mags to make them a bit more unique. I can't remember what it was called exactly, but I've got one item that I can apply to a regular mag. Unfortunately, I gotta figure out not exactly how to do it, but if I do it, I want to do it properly. I don't want to build a mag that I'm not going to use, especially given it was the Christmas event, I believe, that we got the material from, so that's not going to show up for another year. So we definitely don't want to waste it. You also might notice in Pioneer there's some hearts, which tells me that there's probably a Valentine's Day related event that we haven't discovered yet. So I'm going to try and figure out what that is exactly and maybe what some of the special bonuses are. If we do get lucky, maybe Kuroheim will jump into a game, and if they do, maybe they'll be able to point us in the right direction. Okay, so as you can tell, the android is most effective from a distance. Might not be the most exciting strategy because you're not in the thick of it, but it is the most effective strategy for this particular character class. If I do end up starting a new character from level 1 for the Saturday events, I'm not going to pick an android. I'm going to try something different. Haven't quite decided, but definitely something that I can apply more tech, because since I've started this game, I've never used tech, and I'm quite curious about that. It just adds an extra element to the game that I feel I've really been missing. And also with the tech, it's what do I want to be? Do I want to be a attack class, or do I want to be a support class? So I think what I probably prefer to be is a support class, because even with a support class at a decent level rank, you can still do quite a bit of damage, but I just don't see my playing style as something that's going to be most effective from an attack class. Now that being said, a lot of the online multiplayer games, hack and slash style games like Diablo that I've played in the past, I've often been like a melee weapon user that just uses brute force. Like I loved using the Viking character in Diablo 3. Got my character actually up quite high before I stopped playing that game, and that was mostly because I was getting items from other people online that I wasn't aware were hacked and modded, and that's kind of when I realized that that game is heavily saturated with cheaters, for lack of a better term, and it just sort of sucked the fun out of the game. I have gotten in touch with a couple of local people who want to start up some local D3 games, which could kind of be fun actually. I don't know if I'll be able to commit to the time that's needed to play D3 again effectively. When it first came out, I played it quite regularly. It was a lot of fun to play, and most of that was because of the people that I was playing with at the time. There were a couple of friends that moved across the country, and it just kind of gave us an excuse to hook up online and touch base. And I've probably mentioned a few times before in the chat, we played that game for at least a solid 6 months straight, like basically every day after work rather, for at least 3 hours. It was one of the few games that I've been really sucked into. Diablo 3 and Fallout 3, the only two games I could say I've really invested an obscene amount of, I shouldn't say obscene, based I know some people probably put in the amount of time that I put into a game that I consider obscene in a week, but for me, putting 200 plus hours into a game is quite a bit. Not used to doing that. I generally move on to something else. So if I'm willing to put in 200 hours, you definitely know that it's a game that is worth playing. So yeah, if we do play the Saturday game, I think I'll try and do a support class, and that could be a lot of fun. We'll check it out. Okay, don't die. No die. Okay, sweet. Whew. Now, the people in the other quest have not got back to me yet, so hopefully they're just sort of in the thick of a quest and maybe haven't responded as of yet, but it would be nice. We'll check out, we'll go a little bit further into the forest, and maybe then we'll see who else is back on Pioneer, and check out if anybody is interested in playing tonight, and if not, maybe we'll just jump to Quake. Check that out. So I would like to play Monaco at some point as well with the racing wheel that David so generously donated. I played it offline, and it's fantastic with the wheel. Really responsive, really tight game. The graphics on it are fantastic as well. But I would like to try that online. I recently helped out our friend from the Dreamcast Junkyard, Mr. Tom Shannock, with some photos for a Electronic Gamer Monthly article that he's working on. So you should see those soon. There's some for Super Speed Racing, which is a Japanese exclusive. And yeah, it's a fun racing game. Some of the maps are or tracks I should say, are a bit simple, but overall it's really responsive. The car I was using, it was an F1 car. I'm not sure if it was because of the type of car or just maybe the game mechanics, but it felt really, really good. Like, it wasn't slippery on the road. It was, all the turns were really, really tight. A lot of the times when I play games where the cars tend to drift a lot, I don't like it. I don't manage drifts in racing games very well. I kind of learned that the hard way when Mario Kart first came out back in the day. I would play that, and a big part of that, playing that game effectively, is drifting. And it's not very hard. You just hold your shoulder buttons down. But it was just something that didn't feel quite natural to my racing style. I generally like it when you're just kind of releasing on the gas and accelerating and stuff like that around when you get out of corners, and drifting and stuff like that. I know that it's not terribly difficult, but for me it just doesn't feel particularly natural in a racing game. So you should see that article up soon enough. It's in Electronic Gaming Monthly, and I'm not sure if it's an online article or if it's going to be a print. If it is an online article, I did put together some animated GIFs for him as well, so we'll see if those show up. Okay, so these guys are taking forever to die. We haven't really found too much cool stuff, but I'm starting to think I should also pick up some valuable armor that I could sell, because I don't really have any Meseta at the moment. Come on, boom, boom, boom. Okay, and the good news is, without being enhanced by anybody else's tech, you'll notice that even when I'm shooting my heavy attack, I'm still connecting pretty well. No misses, which is a good sign, because, oh shit, okay. Boom, boom, boom. A big problem that we were having was when we would begin with our heavy attack, because of the, oh shoot, we gotta get out of here. We're gonna be in rough shape. Okay, let's launch that trap. And let's launch that trap. Let's see if we can just freeze these guys up. And let's take them out. Cool. And bang. Alright, sweet. Oh, I can't remember. Oh, yes, okay. Are there wolves in this one? No, they are more of these guys. Now, I don't think they're called Bartles when you play in any of the other non-ultimate modes, but again, don't quote me on that. I've never really... I think they're called Brompkins, aren't they? Or Brombas? Does that sound about right? It's been a while since we played in hard or very hard, so it's hard for me to remember what the... even the skins look like on some of the enemies because it's been so long. Alright, so we want to take out that Rappy and tag them before they run away. Bang, bang, bang. Wow, that Rappy is really putting up with a lot of punishment. Okay, cool. So, we're all healed up. Anything we can use here? Not really. And is the Rappy waking up? Oh, come on. Did we tag him? Ah, oh, shit. I think we missed him. Damn, they generally don't wake up that quick. Okay, well, that was my mistake. Okay, just looking in the chat. Yes, Tides of Darkness is a fantastic expansion to Warcraft 2. Warcraft 2 has one big problem, and that is if you're just playing the solo campaign, which is fine, by the way. It's actually a really fun campaign to play. It's fun for I'd say 3/4 of the game, and then by about the last quarter the game becomes nearly impossible to win. The computer, it is just the way that they are forming their campaign and using their resources and everything like that, it's essentially unplayable past that point unless you're going to use cheats. They just play way too quick. I've never been able to beat the last level. I've gotten as far as the last level without cheats in Warcraft 2, but yeah, it's pretty much impossible. That was back when I was really good at that game too, but unfortunately I was never able to beat that last level on my own. I used to play a lot. I had a friend who had that game as well. And the good thing about that game was you only had to have one copy. You had to have it installed on both computers, but as long as one person had the actual game and they would host it, the person that didn't own the game could still join the game. So what would happen was my friend would actually own the game. He would install it on my computer at the time. He would call me. He would host a game and he would call me because it was like dial-up internet. Actually, it wasn't even internet back in that day. It was just a dial-up connection. You were just doing DCIP connections, and you would just set. They would set their computer to host, and you would dial in, and you would connect to their computer, and that's how you would start the game. The connections were highly unstable, especially if you had a family that would pick up the phone. So typically, most games were played generally in the wee hours of the night when people weren't using the computer that much, or I should say the phone that much, because if you picked up the phone mid-game, you would break the connection. There was no way to recover it, and you would basically have to start over again. So that became really inconvenient, especially for the people I would play with, because we all came from rather large families, and because of that, everybody kind of wanted to use the phone. Okay, tag. Oh shit, okay. These guys are gonna be the death of me, quite literally. Bang, bang, bang. Okay, cool. Did we get anything good? No, not even a grinder. Jeez, disappointing. Alright, no big deal. Well, let's swing around. We've got that scepter. And we're back over here. Alright. This shouldn't be too hard. We haven't woken up that last monster in the corner, so that's good. It'll give us a chance to kind of thin out the herd before we get into the thick of it, because there's two guys over there. They're gonna spring into battle. Actually there's three. There's one that hasn't quite come out yet. Oh, there he is. Perfect. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. And they don't appear... These guys have never really felt like they've posed any kind of real threat. I gotta be honest. They kind of just bounce around you, occasionally attack, but more often than not are just really good at evading attacks. I'm not sure if it's because they've got a high evade in their character, but they really seem to make it difficult to connect if you're using just a regular shot or handgun. Okay. Anything in here? We'd really like to get some grinders actually, so we can build up our Android rifle, but I guess we'll just have to wait till we get to maybe the mines or something like that. Alright, turn around, tag, tag, tag. This is great. I'm really happy with how strong my character is getting. Like I was saying before, we never really had a character that could handle its own in the ultimate levels, and now we're hitting for 3 figures. Now it's low 3 figures, but regardless, it's enough that it's not making these little jaunts to the forest completely pointless, because we would spend, I think when I first started going to Ultimate on my own, I would spend about at least half an hour just taking out one group of monsters, because my character class, or my character attributes, were so low that it made it nearly impossible to do anything effectively. Alright. Boom, boom, boom. And let's launch a confused trap, just to say we did. Come on, get out of here. Alright, sweet. So they're confused. Hopefully they'll attack each other for a little while. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang. Oh, no, I thought that was going to be the last one. There we go. Alright, sweet. So this should take the rest of them out. Excellent. Okay, cool. So we'll grab that. Grab this. And are there any doors we haven't gone through yet? Okay, my character looks like it's being enhanced a little bit too. Oh, that's cool, because we have enough of a charge for a photon blast. Let's launch the twins. Why not? Cool. Here we go. Bang. Thanks, twins. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. And let's launch a freeze trap just to make life easy for us. And those guys are far too far away. Not a problem. And one more round of Bartles. Cool. And here we go. Sweet. Alright, excellent. Okay, so I think this door brings us back to the... Oh, that can be worth a little bit of cash. I think this brings us right back around to the opening level, doesn't it? Nope, just to a warp. Not a problem. Okay, so let's get close enough that we can use one of these confused traps, because those seem to be the most effective with these guys. They're not the most intelligent of creatures. The AI with most of these creatures is pretty limited, but fine with these guys in particular. They're pretty dumb. Alright, now what drops now? Anything? Okay, cool. Alright, so we'll open that up, and I think something drops when I go in here, doesn't it? I think we get bombarded with enemies or something. Oh, maybe we don't. Sweet. Alright. Alright, so here's the warp. But I think we're going to go back to Pioneer for now. And unload some stuff. And we might actually just venture back to the lobby and see who else has joined. I'm just going to quickly go over to Dreamcast Now and see if anybody else has joined. I'm also going to check in on the Facebook group to see if anybody has responded to my message yet. I doubt they have, but we'll see what happens. No, nobody has. Okay, not a problem. Just means it's a quiet night. Okay, cool. So let's use one of our telepipes, because we're going to need to get some dimates and some trimates anyway, and it'll give us an opportunity to sell some of that old gear. And while we're in the lobby, I'm just going to show you a couple little odds and ends that I picked up as well that you might be kind of interested in. Okay, so first things first, let's go to the Techer. And I think we have enough cash that we can... Yes, we've got more than enough. Okay, cool. Master Scepter. Great. Cool. Alright, well, I will sell that. Sell... Okay, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. Get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. And buy some Dimates. Check. Some Trimates. Check. And do they have Escape Doll? No, they don't. Okay, not a problem. Okay, so let's get out of here. Item pack, item. And let's equip that. And let's use our die grinder. And let's re-equip this. And let's go to our mag and feed it some Dimates while we're here. Beautiful. Now we don't have a lot of sync, but at least the IQ is half decent. Okay, cool. Da-da-da. Buy Dimates. Yes. Cool. Alright, so we're all set. Now, do I venture back to the lobby? I think so. They must be done by now. Okay, and it looks like my character has a bit of enhancements. That's kind of cool, like some sort of tech enhancement. That must have been... I wonder what did that, actually. Not 100% sure. Okay, cool. Let's go back to the lobby and check out who is hanging around here. Maybe we can even jump into somebody else's game. Okay, cool. They're smart people. So we got Grencia and a Hark. Both at fairly low levels, but we might be able to have some fun in maybe a hard game. No, can't even play a hard game. We'd have to play normal until a Hark gets up to 20. Alright, in the meantime, we're just watching these people chat for a minute. I just want to show you guys a couple other recent pickups. So, as I've said before, I am not a Pokemon fan. But occasionally I'll pick up Pokemon accessories just because, you know, sometimes they can be kind of valuable. And this is one of those things that you don't see that often, but are semi-highly sought after, and that's the Jack-specific Pokedex. I was going to say Pokemon Index, but it's actually Pokedex. And all that is an electronic index for your Pokemon. I don't have batteries in it at the moment, but that's the power button, and it has the Pokemons that you've captured, and you can scroll through them and stuff like that. It's actually a pretty decent little LCD device if you're a fan of the Pokemon series. As I've said before, I'm not, but, you know, it's good to have. I also managed to find the complete Deadpool collection. So that'll be a fun read, especially with the new movie coming out very shortly. I was a big fan of the first one, didn't know anything really about the character, but, you know, it was a fun movie. So, lastly up here, before I get to some other cool stuff, is... you know that I love my vintage keyboards and I love my toy boards, and especially the ones that are a little bit more unique. And this is definitely one of them. It's the Casio PT82. And it's one of the ones with the Casios that actually uses ROM carts. And those are these little carts right here. And what they do, I can get it out. A little bit sticky. Come on there. There we go. So the way the ROM carts work is that they've actually got songs built into them, and you just plug them in, and that's it. The songs are not that great, I gotta admit. They're really cheesy Casio songs, but it's just really cool that they use this ROM cart technology. And this is one of the ones that I've been looking for a while, so, and I can interchange the ROMs with some other Casio boards that I have as well. So, alright, let's chit chat with these folks. I use a BBA sometimes. I haven't noticed a difference between it and my DreamPi, to be honest. But it's still cool to have. Primarily I use my BBA for my Dreamcast, only because I play a lot of PSO and not a lot of the other games online. That being said, you can use the BBA for 4 games now. You can use it for Toy Racer, Quake 3, PSO, and Ooga Booga, I think. So that's, if you do have a BBA, it's not as obsolete as you might think. So what happens then? So what happens when you get past 150? Maybe it's just that you get more monsters or something like that come out at you. Actually, while we're here, why don't we check out and see what the other teams are, if there are any other teams currently running. So, join team, no teams, okay. There are certain challenge quests that you can only unlock after level 150. You cannot complete the Christmas catastrophe quest with DreamPi. Unfortunately, it's too unstable. Only BBA or PC can complete it. DreamPi will crash in the last stage of the quest. So we found out that the hard way last year. Alright, so these guys here are just kind of chilling out. There's nobody else in any other quests. Yeah, that's true. If you're planning on playing a lot of PSO, BBA isn't a bad idea. Yeah, I'd say if you plan on playing any of the PSO or Quake, BBA, it's not the end of the world. If you want to play the other games, of course, you're going to have to invest in a DreamPi or build a DreamPi setup. But, you know, BBA isn't as obsolete as some people make it out to be. So, okay. Well, while they are continuing to chit-chat amongst themselves, I am just going to show you guys a couple more interesting things that we have found out there in the wild. Now, every time I see one of these, I always pick one up because they're pretty liquidatable online and they're always very useful to have, in particular this model. Now, there's a couple different ones you can get. You can get the iOmega Zip 250 large serial drive, which is kind of obsolete. You can get it working with a serial to USB connector, but it's very large, requires its own power supply, which isn't the end of the world, but you know, it's not as convenient as the other ones. The other ones you can get are like this, a USB or iOmega Zip 250, but the other ones, the other models come with an adapter. You need to have it powered in order to use. Now this model is the best one. Now this model here only has USB and it's powered over USB as well. So it's really convenient. You just plug and play and you can read your Zip 250 discs. Now you might be asking, why would I care about Zip 250 discs? Well, if you use a lot of older music equipment, particularly Roland, they did build a lot of equipment with Zip 250 media storage, and the problem with that is that a lot of their equipment actually use the media itself, the Zip 250 disc rather, as its RAM. So in order for the actual unit to operate, it would require a small amount of the disk space to run the hardware. So some of the older hardware you can flop out floppy emulators. You know, if it has a disk drive or something like that, it's generally pretty easy. Even some zip drives as well, but there's a lot of equipment, especially like the Roland SP808EX in particular, the best one. That's a sampler that uses Zip 250, and there's only one specific floppy emulator that you can switch out, and it's been discontinued for about a decade. And when it does go online, it is insanely expensive. So I don't own one of those anymore. I did have one. I got it for, I think, $60 or something like that. And I played around with it. It's a great sampler. It's just very, very large, and there's a lot of menu driving and didn't quite fit my workload. So these are really handy because when you have to swap over media, like let's say you put a zip 250 disc into your music equipment, and then you want to put samples on it, while you take it out, put it into your computer, and there you go. So anyways, these are really handy, and also you can find them generally for pretty cheap. Like this was only $3 if you really want to. I flipped about maybe 10 of them. You can generally get about $50 for them, so not a bad amount of scratch for something so small and something not a lot of people look for. So the other stuff I was telling you guys about while we're chit-chatting here is, well, actually I'll show you this one last thing. I might circuit bend this. It's a Texas Instruments Speak and Read. So all of those old speak and spells and stuff like that, they're highly coveted on the circuit bending market, and that's just because they're really cool. They have a really cool sound chip to them. So the voice chip, if you can mod it over MIDI, you can generally program a sensor or a synthesizer to send it information, and yeah, it can be pretty cool if you tweak it up properly. And what games did I get? Well, some of them I've never actually played before, but I just got because they were kind of cool. This is a Coleco digital computer Zodiac clock calendar, something like that. Just looked particularly neat, and it wasn't exactly expensive. It was only, what was it, $3.99. So here's your little Zodiac calendar, and the instructions are inside, and all the paperwork and the books, and there you go. I'll be able to read my sign, I suppose. Let's just slide this back together. The other ones I got were actual genuine games, and the genuine games are actually quite a bit of fun. Can't go wrong with this. Now this is a reissue, but it's just a pretty faithful reissue. And that was a boxed version rather, of Rock'em Sock'em Robots, which is always really fun to have around. Also, two more. This one I've never played, but I got it simply because of the title. You'll know why in a second, and that's the Dragon's Lair board game. Now, I had no idea that Dragon's Lair was made into a board game, but apparently it is. I don't know any reviews. I haven't seen anybody be able to play it online, but there you go. It's based on the arcade game, it appears, and looks like a very simple little board game that was released in, what, 81, 82 probably? Don't see a date on it, but shortly around when the arcade game came out. And lastly, this was a really cool find. This is a complete boxed copy of Siege. Now, if you haven't played Siege before, it is a really interesting game. If you look down there, if I can just get the camera to focus, what it is you've got a lot of these little playing pieces that are kind of like defense towers and catapults and things like that, and you set them up and they fire these little plastic sort of like ball bearing type things, and they can knock out pieces of the castle and stuff like that. It's actually a really fun game. It gets a little bit messy, but yeah, it's a really interesting game, and it was complete. None of the pieces were broken, so kind of nice. Okay, cool. Let's receive their card. Yes. And it appears as though this game might be a little bit of a bust tonight, folks. Not too many people are on. Organize, join. Let's just say, yeah, it would appear so. When GC players start a quest, if you are on Dreamcast, you can't even see it. I think GC players can join DC games, but it always crashes. Also, if other players have their name in white, it means they are playing PSO version 1. Yellow means version 2. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the chat. I think PC players are also yellow, but don't quote me on it. What I do find funny about this game is that when I started playing online, yes, when I started playing online was about 2 years ago now, and it was really before a lot of new players are jumping in. Typically the PSO crowd had been long established for quite a long time. There were a few people that were playing, but not a whole lot of new players. So I feel like it's kind of cycled back around again, because now that the more I play, the bigger the game gets. Even though it was big to begin with, completely faded into obscurity when the Sega servers went down. Maybe a handful, like what, 12 to 20 people keeping alive for a decade and a half possibly. And then, you know, all of a sudden this exploded with up to about, I think there's about 200 or 300 active DreamPi users, and I see new players jumping in all the time. So, and I hear about new players jumping in all the time as well. So just kind of really fascinating when you see that sort of evolution of what is old is new again, right? Oh, hey, cool. Thanks a lot. I appear to have received a $1 donation. Thank you very much, Aeon Moore. Appreciate it. All right. I guess these guys are you? I've still not run Mines or Ruins. Did you want to do a quick Towards the Future ++ run and get up to level 20 tonight? We could do that with this person who's at 15. That'd be kind of nice. Cool. You guys want to jump ship to Vega? Okay, hopefully they will jump ship to Vega. Okay, meet you there. Cool, sounds good. So it looks like we're going to jump ship to Vega, and we're going to do a quick Towards the Future run on, I guess, normal, but that's okay. So, okay, we will transport, change ship, Vega we go, block 1. Cool, so we'll wait there for a little bit. No, it's not Rolling Rock. Actually, we're going a little Nordic. Nordic? I can't remember. Heineken! Don't really... You know what? When Rolling Rock first came to Canada, I did buy it simply because, you know, Angry Video Game Nerd kind of brought it to everybody's attention. But it was only available in cans, tall cans in particular, for the longest time. And the beer is just not that good. I don't know if it was because it wasn't being brewed like in... I think it's a microbrewery out in... where does he film out again? Is it Philadelphia? I can't recall exactly. But anyways, regardless, I think it was made out of the Molson plant here in Toronto, and it didn't do it. Now, they do sell in bottles now, but I was never really a big fan of that particular beer. I do like Steam Whistle, do like Heineken. occasionally I will actually like Bex as well, but yeah, I don't really do the Rolling Rock, so my character is quiet as a mouse. I use a USB GD ROM. Okay, maybe we should back up and give this person a little bit of air. Okay, and okay, so how about we start a team and the other guy can jump in. Cool. Perfect. Cool. I do not use the PC or laptop to play. Actually, I use my original Dreamcast, but I do use a USB GD-ROM, and you can play on PC. From what I understand, it's fairly easy, but of course, me being me, I always want to do it the more difficult way. But yeah, if you don't have access to a Dreamcast and you just want to play, it's you can just play over PC. It's free. It's great. Go to the Silverant website, and through them they have links to all the resources that you need to install in order to play. Oh, we were just looking in the chat about craft beers and being spoiled, and I have to agree. I used to do domestics, particularly like when I was sort of just fresh out of college and money was still a bit of an issue, and I would just go for whatever the cheapest beer possible was. And yeah, your tastes just change over time. Like I used to drink, if you're not from Canada, you probably don't know about these beers, but there's like Laker Ice, which is a high percent. I think it's like 5.5 or 6% alcohol. It tastes like garbage, but it'll do the trick. There's also Labatt's Blue, of course. Canadian, which is just cat piss. It's terrible, terrible beer. And then I started going into the more premium imports. So kind of got into Beck's for a while. The craft stuff around here is actually really, really nice. There's the Steam Whistle plant, which is just downtown Toronto, and there's also the Mill Street brewery, which makes a nice little brew, and there's a ton of like little smaller ones as well. So yeah, kind of grew beyond the cheap beers. It's nothing to do with being too good for them, but I'm just too good for cheap beer. Okay, so we got all of the items that we need. I don't think there's really anything in the bank I can give this person. They appear to be a hunter, maybe? Okay, what do we got? Anything that we can give these guys? Maybe the handgun. That could be kind of nice. Well, we've got lots of handguns here. We've got this red handgun. Yeah, and they won't be able to use it anyway, to be quite honest, so maybe we can... Yeah, let's give them this. Yes. Yes. Yes, and we will keep the god bodies. Okay, cool. And do we want to give them any of these mags? I can't remember. We'll wait. Okay. Hit material. Yes. Hit material. Yes. Hit material. Hit material. Hit material. Hit material. Okay, cool. So let's give these to this new player here. Items. Items. Drop. 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 Alright, cool. Actually, the devil resist we might actually still be able to use. Especially when we get into, you know what, I'm going to take back the Devil Resist, actually. Only because it's good against dark. Yeah, okay. Next time we go to the dark levels, maybe we'll equip that if we're smart. Okay, deposit, item. I mean, the guy's still getting a pretty good deal, if you ask me. Okay, here we go. Grab that gear, fella. Oh yeah, if you want to know how to get online, I would suggest you can go through the link in my video, which will take you to PC Wizard's video, and that is probably the best way to get online at this point, and that's by using DreamPi and using PC Wizard's USB fax modem with the built-in line voltage inducer. It just simplifies everything. He only wants 30 bucks American shipped, very reasonable price, and it does everything. It cleans up the space a lot. You don't have to put in a 9-volt battery or hook it up to a 9-volt wall wart. And a couple of the other prototypes to hook it up USB, you know, they work, but they just didn't look as clean. So this one really makes it look nice. Okay, let's go to, hey, okay, to the guild. No prob. All right, let's go to the guild. Let's go and start. Where's our friend here? Oh, he's just looking at all the stuff. Okay, let's go over here and wait for our friends, and we will start up a Towards the Future game. So let's go up and see how they're doing, if they need any help, what those items are all about. I don't even know if they have any slots in their armor to use that stuff on, so they might be a bit confused as to why I gave it to them. Okay, let's go. Follow me there, buddy. Now, I'm surprised that for Friday night we haven't seen some of the heavy hitters join in, but could just be waiting for Saturday night to play. You never know. Alright, let's go. Guild counter. VR event. Towards the Future plus. Double the enemies. Awesome. Okay, so let's grind this one out. This one's going to be fun. What I'm going to do is just try and hold back and tag. But obviously with my character, tagging means taking them out instantly in normal level. So hopefully we can convince this person to kind of do the majority of the hittings, even his partner for that matter, and hold back, and I'm just going to take them out as soon as they're... Oh shit, I didn't really mean to do this. Blah, 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 we get it. Go and kill everything. Come back when you're done. Get a prize. Okay, I'm not sure how much PC Wizard sells them for complete, but you can source third-party... Okay, I guess everybody's probably jumped in already. Not third-party, but you can source Raspberry Pis for fairly cheap online. eBay generally sellers will sell them for about 50 bucks Canadian shipped, which isn't a bad price, but sometimes you can get them for a little bit cheaper. Okay, where is everybody? Okay, I'm not really too worried about getting hit, but where did our team go? Okay. Ready? Okay, let's just instruct this guy how to play. Okay, so here is the plan. You guys tag and I'll take them out. Tag them for the XP. Just get as many as possible. Do you have a shot? That would be the easiest if they can just do a distance with a shotgun. Cool. should be a quick run. Alright, let's do it! Yeah, you can still use my tutorial. If you go through my channel, you'll see a couple of different videos for doing, you know, very moderate mods, but I think the most popular one at the time was definitely the Dreamcast online video, which is still relevant today, although there is a couple of different things that people do now, in particular with the okay, you guys gonna tag them? Oh, I don't think they understood when I said, do you have a shot? Do you have a shotgun? You can tag more enemies that way. Okay, well, we're not going to worry about it too much then. Boom! Let's take that guy out. Because really the most important thing here is going to be to make sure that when we take the bosses out, everybody gets at least one shot in. Okay, cool. And unfortunately you can't use any traps in normal, which would make this also quite a bit quicker, but you could probably buy one from the armory too. You could probably buy one cheap as well. Alright, sweet. Okay, so maybe what we'll do is, while they're tagging stuff, I'm going to assume that everybody's got a tag in on these guys. And I'm just going to take them out. Okay, I saw that one go down, so those guys are... Boom. Done. Okay, cool. And anything we can use here. The odds of us getting anything useful are going to be pretty slim. Ultimately, our goal is to make sure that our partner here advances up the ranks fast enough and far enough that we can get them to play in at least the hard games. You know, that's probably the most difficult grind, is 1 to 20. But after that, anything in the shop, after that it's pretty quick. Okay, so tag different enemies. I'll take the rest of them out. Alright, cool. Well, the good news is that we seem to really be able to hold our own. Okay, so let's clear this path out a bit for our friend. If we could get a shot out, that would be nice. There we go, perfect. I don't think I have a shot either that this person can borrow, which is kind of disappointing, but oh well, it is what it is. Alright, okay, so it looks like they've... Oh, we've got a blue Rappy. Now, I don't think that the blue Rappy is really going to have anything that we can use, but they're still fun to kind of take out, too. Okay, we got to really get our friend to tag more enemies, because this is going to be a long grind otherwise. Boom! Okay, we got this, we got this. Okay, I think they've all got a shot in. Okay, sweet. Awesome. Alright, so double dragons. Let's just let them know what's going on. Okay, so there are 2 dragons. Be careful. Tag them both, and I'll do the rest. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, cool. So if all goes as planned, By the end of this, I think our friend will be at least at level 19. I suspect they're probably not going to make it all the way to level 20, but we're going to do our best. And in fact, I'm going to change my weapon to the Yasminkov because... there we go. That will give me the opportunity to just take out one enemy at a time. And this should be a pretty easy round. They might actually be done already. Boom, boom, boom. And did we take out both the dragons? I think we did. And they're done. Okay, cool. So let's see if our friend gets a level up. Hopefully they did. Level 1 clear. Okay, how much to next level up? How much till next level up? Okay, I think they're chatting in private, maybe? Okay, cool. Nice. Alright, so I'm just gonna jump in here. I don't think they need that gear, but I know that when you're first starting out, all gear seems pretty cool, so odds are they're gonna probably want to browse through that. So while they're doing that, what I'm gonna do is actually refresh the old Heineken. Fortunately, I come prepared. It's not that cold. It was being chilled with an ice pack, but it's still a little bit warm. That's okay. We've all been in worse situations, right, folks? And we've got our little zombie bottle opener again tonight. Seems to be doing the trick quite well. It looks like it's on the back. It was a Nerd Block exclusive. I've never been to Nerd Block, but that's one of those little gimmicky stores that sell a lot of tchotchkes and stuff. It doesn't really interest me. I've never really been into figures or anything like that, but you know, some people get a kick out of that stuff, so all the power to them. Alright, sweet. So we got our friend here. Oh yeah, this first guy is always a pain in the ass to take out, so hopefully we can get him with one shot. I'm pretty sure we can. But we'll get our friend to tag him first because he's only 300 away. Tag, tag, tag. Nice. Boom. Okay, so I will do the rest. Boom. Done. Sweet. 10 XP. Alright, I'm going to hang back. I'm actually going to go back to my S-rank weapon. And what I'm going to try and do is divert as much attention as possible to myself. Oh, we lost a player. Interesting. So I guess our friend left. That's okay. And I can't seem to get a shot in edgewise. Man, this sucks. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, okay, sweet. We can get out here and let's just take out these guys. Boom. What happened to the other guy? Guess he had to leave for the night? I'm not 100% sure. I know that they were talking in private, so I don't know. Okay, well, fair enough. He just left, so you never know. He could have just decided he had enough for the night, or could have DC'd, which is always unfortunate with this game because when you DC, you lose everything. Okay, and is he going to tag all of these guys? I hope so. Boom. Okay, good enough. And what do we got here? We have those three. I keep forgetting what these guys are called. They're like the ones that split in half. Okay. And even if you're a strong player, it's always still difficult to actually connect. Boom. 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 And done. Done. Okay, cool. I think our friend connected, but don't quote me on it. Boom, boom, boom. Done. Okay, and did he tag these guys as well? I believe he did. Score. Okay, sweet. So this is actually going a little bit smoother than I had anticipated. Now it is just the two of us, and I'm pretty sure we can do falls quickly when we get there, but it's going to be a matter of whether or not my partner here can kind of tag enough to make it worth the run. That's the problem. They're just using a handgun. They don't have a shot weapon. I don't think I have a shot that they can actually use. And they appear to only be tagging one enemy at a time, which is not the most effective strategy when we're doing a TFF run. Especially if you're just going to try and grind for XP. Okay, I've had enough of these guys. Thank you for all of your attacks. Boom, let's take you out. Boom, let's take you out. And do we need anything here? No, we don't. Okay, cool. Oh, these friggin' lilies are such a pain. Bang, okay, done. So I did read something before I started up the game, and I haven't watched people's videos of it yet, but I really have no investment one way or the other, which is kind of the funny part. And that's apparently this YouTuber that put up that video about going to the Chinese, I don't forget what they're called, but it was like in China or something like that, and it was a place where lots of people unfortunately choose to commit suicide, and I guess found a dead body. Logan Paul, that was the guy's name. And I guess YouTube has pulled all the revenue from his channel, which is kind of interesting, only because from what I understand, I think that guy bought like a $5 million house or something like that. And if you're paying with that through YouTube revenue, oh my god, that's gonna be devastating. But oh well, I guess live and learn. Don't buy a $5 million house if you're planning on making a living off of YouTube, if anything, just because nobody knows how stable this platform is going to be, especially for the heavy hitters, right? Like, I mean, only been around for a short period of time, and I've already heard people discuss using the platform to generate the majority of your income isn't the best idea, and you should probably diversify your revenue streams through whatever, through donations or Patreons or something to that effect. But definitely relying on AdSense to sustain your lifestyle is not the best way to do it, but I think those guys did, or they have a clothing line or something. I don't know. They're young people that I have no connection with whatsoever. And I have really no desire. In fact, I've only recently been getting into some of the old guard of YouTubers, which is kind of funny. Like, I know H3 has been around forever and have quite a few followers, but I only started watching H3 videos over the last 3 months, something like that. The same goes for Boogie 9928. I know Boogie's been around for ages, and I only started watching his videos probably in the last 6 months or so. And this is like well after the Francis stuff, which he doesn't really do that much anymore. Mostly of it's just doing blogs and stuff like that, talking about his life, which is interesting in and of itself, especially if you've had anybody close to you that's kind of dealt with food addictions issues, which can be quite devastating in many regards. Yeah, listening to him talk about his stuff pretty openly is kind of nice, but yeah, only recently started getting into that guy's stuff, and then I see these Francis videos that made the guy popular. I just don't get it. I don't understand the appeal. I think it's such a silly, just like annoying, stupid character. But some people must love it for whatever reason. Who am I to judge, right? I'm sure that people have said the same thing about me. Alright, we gotta get more moon atomizers too. That's another thing we're heavily lacking in. Okay, sweet. We got him up to level 16. That was Japan, not China. Oh, sorry. Actually, I'm going to show that comment. Just give me 1 second. Show. There we go. the way the channel's set up is that if the algorithm picks up anything that they might deem to be non-advertiser friendly, like the word racist, for instance, they're going to allow me to moderate that comment before it goes live. But I really don't care. People can say what they want to say. People should not be afraid of words. But yes, I apologize for that. Japan, not China. That being said, I also did mention I don't follow this fella and don't really know much about the story other than what some of the other YouTube commentators that I follow have said about this person. So I appreciate the correcting though. Oh, we got a new message. Okay, let's check that out. First, we're gonna feed our mag. Good thing about playing on normal level is that we can feed our mag without any real fear of dying, which is kind of nice. Okay, bang, 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 done. Okay, and let's check our mail. Chat. Simple mail. Received mail. Sorry, I bailed. PC crashed when 2 dragons die at the same time. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. That sucks. We'll have to start a game next time, though. Okay, cool. Well, that's too bad that that person was unable to play. I guess the Quest crashed the PC version of the game. Never heard of that happening, but I guess it's possible. Alright, and we want to go through this door here. From what I understand, this is a pretty small... There we go. Here's the exit. Let's wait for our partner to jump in. Score. Okay. Yeah, don't worry about it. You're not getting me in trouble with anybody. It's funny, pretty much every video that I post nowadays gets flagged for whatever reason. There is one guy that watches my channel. I don't know who he is exactly, but he's been around for a while. He just makes a concerted effort to... I'm pretty confident it's this person because I have such a concise subscriber base that it's easy for me to pay attention to comments and things like that are happening on the channel regularly. But this person often posts a lot of negative stuff, and I think they used to play PSO on the Dreamcast back in the day, and they like to kind of talk trash with the server, unfortunately, and I think they try to buy a Dreamcast every once in a while and play and can't figure it out and sell it and get frustrated, and then like to private message me and like thumbs down all my videos and flag all of my videos and stuff like that. But you know, all the power to them. It doesn't really take too much to dispute those claims, but yeah, they're really the only threat I really have to my channel, except for occasionally there'll be a just genuine YouTube sort of copyright troll that'll flag one of my videos, like of my live concerts that I post, and they'll take ownership of that, and then if I don't relinquish ownership voluntarily, sometimes they will just put a strike on my channel, which is what happened last month, and I had to take down quite a few videos temporarily. Ultimately, the copyright strike had gone away, which meant that I was able to open up those videos again, but it makes it quite inconvenient. Okay, what's that person? Okay, cool. Cool, sounds good. Take care. Sweet. Alright, score. Okay, get out of here. And take those guys out. And let's see if we can feed our mag again. I think we can. Oh, no, not quite yet. But we should probably take out some of those traps. Those are going to be frustrating for our partner. Where did our partner go? Okay, our partner's over here. Probably trying to heal up a little bit. Okay, and bang, take him out, score. Alright. You're next on deck. Okay, I'm going to take that moon atomizer because this person is probably going to be dying sometime in the near future. Boom. Okay, and I can't believe how much HP that these people are taking off me. That's fascinating. There's no way I should have had half my health drained when I'm playing in normal level with the character I have, but maybe they just had a special attack that I wasn't prepared for or something, I don't know. Okay, cool, let's take those guys out. And anything that I can use, no, no, no. Boom, okay, we gotta bring our partner back. I think we're almost out of moon atomizers actually, so we might have to dip back to town. Refresh on those. I'm not going to grab the Meseta. They can grab that if they want. Meseta is not a huge issue for me anymore. Bang, bang. Okay, and they're just running away. I hope they tagged. Item pack, mag, Dreamcast, Dimate. Give Dimate. Give Dimate. Now I think after level 50 this is when the mag gets picky, and unfortunately the guidebook I have doesn't give you any information on how to feed a Dreamcast mag, so I'm gonna have to go online and figure that out for myself, I think. Okay, we took that trap out, and I believe there's another one. Yep, right there. Okay, take that one out as well. And hopefully this is another short level where we can just kind of blast right through. We've only been on for 20 minutes, which isn't too bad. But our friend is only at level 16 still. Let's let them take out as many as they possibly can while I'm taking the brunt of the hits. Hey, thanks. I appreciate that you like the setup. It's been a lot of trial and error. If you watch the video I put on my channel that says Dreamcast Setup 2017 edition, capture setup rather, I've modified it very slightly since then, not enough to put up a new video, but again, there's no template for doing this kind of stuff. You'll kind of figure it out trial and error, and the setup I currently have, fortunately I didn't really make too much mistakes with it. I did a lot of the research that I needed to do to prepare to get what I needed to get done. There was probably only one or two financial mistakes that I made that very recoverable but a little bit annoying nonetheless, and those are around microphones. Originally I had the Blue Yeti, and it was suggested to me to use the NT2A, and I think the Blue Yeti was fine if you EQ it properly, but the NT2A had a much better sort of natural presence straight out of the box, and I really enjoyed it. It was XLR too. The Blue Yeti that I had was over USB, and that's the microphone that most podcasters use, that you'll see. It's that one that looks kind of like it's kind of like a bullet, and yeah, it's a great little mic. I traded it for a synthesizer that I haven't used in probably like a decade and a half, and yeah, it's just a fantastic little mic. But I did want to get an XLR mic. I'm kind of stuck in the old school in that regard, and I was just like, yeah, XLR just fits up my setup much better. Okay, and I guess there's probably something in here that's gonna happen. There's guys in the ceiling, isn't there? Can't recall 100%, but something will spawn shortly. Here we go. Alright, let's have them. We can probably take quite a few hits. I think after this I will dip back to Pioneer and refresh on some Trimates and some Moon Atomizers, because I have a feeling, especially when we get to Falls, that our friend is going to really struggle. And we can't quite beat our mag yet. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Okay, hopefully they tagged and I can just take these guys out. Yes, it looks like I can. Sweet. Oh wow, I can't believe the TP has already gone up that much. Well, we'll wait till we get to our next... Oh, we'll use it now. There we go. Boom, and... our little dolphin friend. Why not? Bang, bang, bang. Okay. I guess we should probably use our quick attack, only because it seems to have a much better, not only accuracy, but also when you're firing it, it seems to be a bit quicker. An older version of Defiance. You know, I never really thought about that, but I'd have to go back to Defiance. There's quite a few games on the PS3 that I've owned and never actually got around to playing. The PS3 is kind of an anomaly for me. And I think about actually the PS3, the PlayStation, and definitely the PlayStation 2. I can't speak for the PlayStation 4 because I don't own one, but those systems are interesting because I like them. I hold them in really high esteem. They're really nice consoles, but for whatever reason, I've owned tons of games for them. I've only played a handful. I've beat even fewer. In fact, what games have I beat on the regular PlayStation 1? Soul Reaver. What else? What else? The Final Fantasy Chronicles, but those don't really count, only because they're ports. That might be it. And on PS2, I've only beat King Kong the game, which is a really fun first-person game, by the way. What else? I'm trying to think here. That may be it, actually. And then for PS3, I beat Resistance 2, Brutal Legend, Diablo, Fallout. What else have I played and beat for the PlayStation 3? That might be it as well. And PlayStation 4 I just never got into. By the time I got through with the PlayStation 3, I realized that game collecting in particular really wasn't going to be the same anymore. And what I mean by that is that you buy a new game and it's always unfinished. It always needs a day one patch. And when those servers go down, that's it. Those games are done as well, which is kind of scary. Like, I mean, I'm sure there'll be third-party, mine's just right here. Third-party servers that open up, and hopefully people save the patch data somewhere on a server where you can download it and put it on a USB key. But it is kind of scary to think that when those things go down, most of those discs are going to be obsolete, and probably there's going to be better ways to emulate those systems in those games rather in the future as well. So because of that, I saw that a lot with the PS3, and I assume it's even worse with the PS4. So I just never got into it. Now that being said, that I will probably pick up at some point a Switch, but I'm going to wait for the next generation to come out. I'm not going to be an early adopter. I just feel as though the system is probably, like, it's a good system. I played it. It feels nice, but there's definitely improvements that can really, that are very obvious that can be made. And because of that, I suspect they're going to have another generation of it out relatively quickly. They're probably going to wait till at least the end of 2019, but you will see a different version of that at some point. Okay, sweet. All right, let's go back. Ready? We don't want to be hanging around Pioneer all day. Okay, where did our friend go now? Come on, buddy. Well, maybe, did they jump back into the mines? Don't think so. There we go, perfect. Offline for ultimate mode, I still have to complete hard mode, actually. I've only beat normal offline, and it's because it's a grind. It's about, what, 4 hours or so of play, and yeah, to do that offline, I just find it's not as fun. So because it's not as fun, just less inclined to do it. Alright, does this mean we're going to the... Nope, we got one more room. Okay, where did our friend go? Come on, buddy. Gonna miss all this beautiful XP. Alright, who's attacking? Is that my partner? Huh, interesting. Okay, well. Oh, no, it was the robot behind it. I gotcha. I gotcha. Alright, this guy's not gonna die anytime soon. Boom, tag. Alright, maybe we can... No, we can't. We gotta wait for... There's no door up there. No, okay. Guess we have to wait for all of this to clear out before we can open up those doors. Oh yeah, okay. Now this is getting annoying. Bang, bang, bang. Which one is the real one? Who knows? Okay. Where's my friend? Good job. Take those guys out. It's really too bad that they're not using a spread weapon of sorts. That would make life a lot easier. Okay. Boom. Take that guy out. Sweet. Monomate, monomate, monomate. Nope, we don't need it. Okay, where... Okay, gonna shoot those guys. Try and hit different targets if you can. No? Okay, boom. I'm just gonna take them out. Sweet. Did I just get level 114 in normal? That's hilarious. I didn't even check how far away I was from my next level up, but I can't believe that I just got a level up playing in normal mode. Oh, it's been a while. Alright, sweet. That was an unexpected surprise, guys. Alright, and let's take those guys out too. They're just getting annoying. Nothing we can use here. Monomates. Oh, what's this? I think that's some sort of attribute booster or something like that. Alright, that should have opened the door. Yes, it did. Okay, follow me, my friend. I think this is the gate. Thank God. The gate. Alright. Off we go. Yeah, well, thanks. I actually, most of the progress that I've made, I think I've captured pretty much almost every game I've played PSO since I've started, I've captured online. I think my character was like level 2 at the time. And yeah, I just really started off early when I got my Dreamcast trying to capture things. The first couple of videos, I didn't really have a format. I was still trying to figure it out. I had a lot of equipment, some of the same equipment that I use today, but didn't have it. I wasn't using it properly. I wasn't live streaming at the time. I was actually recording video and splicing it together after the fact and then uploading it, but it was done in a way where I was able to capture chats and things like that. Wasn't using OBS properly, but it definitely, did the job for what I was using it for at the time. I was also recording in standard definition. I was using this capture card that is designed for, or capture device, I should say, that's mostly designed for capturing like VCRs and things. And because of that, the quality wasn't that spectacular. Also, the audio was a little bit off. You could barely see my mouth because I was using a dynamic mic that needed to be awfully close. Audio wasn't really balanced that nicely either. And sometimes it would take me a long time to sync things up because I would record the audio channel separate from everything else. Okay, let's make sure that a person is tagging. I want to make sure that they at least hit it once. Boom, okay. Good, they hit it once. We'll do the rest. Sweet. And the online stuff that I was trying to capture as well, it was mostly chats that were done through Dreamcast Live, which they're hit or miss in terms of their activity. I noticed with PSO games they weren't as active, but with other games they were quite active. Like in particular, games like Quake 3. A lot of people chatting in that, and Planet Ring also, for that matter. It's like watching a child actor grow up on TV. Yeah, I suppose so. If by child actor, I guess I would have been 35 at the time. And far less shaggy. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Last round. This one should get you lots of XP. Now hopefully they don't die too much in the fields, but we'll find out. You know what? I gave up on The Walking Dead a long time ago. You know, well before people were criticizing for that show being so stupid. I always, like, after the first season, I thought it was stupid. The first season was great, and after that, it's been nothing but downhill. And I haven't paid attention at all this season. Now, at least previously, what I would typically do is just watch it in the side of my eye. It's just kind of like background sort of stuff to keep myself busy when I was doing other projects. But after last season, which I thought was just absolutely horrible, like borderline unwatchable, I couldn't bring myself to start up this season at all. So I've completely checked out. Okay, boom, boom, boom. So I'm gonna let our friend here take the lead for a bit, and I've just got to actually quickly check in on a couple of things in the old household, but I'll switch the gameplay over. That way you guys don't miss anything. And okay, cool. Let's go through this way. Let's go through this way. Now the tricky part here is not getting lost. I would like my friend to tag more, but unfortunately they don't have a shot weapon, so it's a little bit challenging. Okay, tag as many as you possibly can. Boom, 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 boom. And I guess I'll do the rest. Sweet. Okay, they're at level 17. They're getting there. It's not as bad as we thought. Okay, anything there we can use. Dimates, they're always useful. And we're not going to grab any Meseta. They can grab all the Meseta they want. Anyways, so yeah, I did hear that Carl died this season. Spoiler. That is something that you need to be saved from. But, I mean, last season his character really burned me up when he managed to break into that camp by jumping into the back of the van. He had Negan in his sights. He knew full well what Negan was capable of, and he still chose not to just shoot him on sight and turned in his freaking rifle. I think he had a rifle. Like, completely out of character, especially knowing what he knew about that character as well. And like most people have said, the zombies are really of no consequence. They've used to be the most dangerous thing in the show, and now they dismiss them as they would raccoons in your garbage. Okay, is it this way that we go to? Yes. Alright. And it's funny, I think I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast, and they were talking about, I can't remember the character's name, Dale, the guy who has the crossbow. And I never really thought about it before, but if you don't listen to the Joe Rogan podcast, one of the things about that podcast is they focus on hunting, and they focus on bow hunting in particular quite a bit. And they were talking about the impact of a bow and how when they're hunting, like, they will shoot a bear with a proper arrow, like a proper compound bow with, I can't remember what it has, like, is it a 120-pound draw? Can't recall exactly. and the bear won't even know what happens because the arrow goes right through them. So, you know, you've got these soggy zombies and arrows are getting stuck in their eyes, and yeah, it doesn't make any sense when you think of the actual impact that an arrow has on a body. Like it would go through these things and they wouldn't even know. It would go through 10 of them and they wouldn't even know. I used to do a little bit of archery back in the day. I didn't grow up in the whole sort of Hunger Games era when archery was big for that couple of minutes. I grew up in Northern Ontario where you just had a bow. And I started off with a composite bow, and that was quite difficult to manage. If you haven't tried to do that before, to get a straight shot on one of those is quite challenging, but it's a good place to cut your teeth. And then I did graduate to a compound bow at one point, but you know, after you move to the city, you don't really have access to the places to use those things, so I haven't really used it since. The one thing I don't have very much experience with is firing a weapon. Gun, I guess should be more specific. Never got into firing guns. Never was really a big part of my upbringing or anything like that, but you know, if you do it, great. It never really appealed to me. Just kind of very loud and very dangerous. Ah, yes. Here we are. The last gate. Ready? Ever beat falls before? Daryl, that's who it is, not Daryl. Daryl. My mistake. I did try to read the first couple of issues of the comic. I did have a couple of trade paperbacks, but the comics didn't really do it for me either, so I think it's because I watched the... Oh, cool, I just got a random... Ah, you know what it is? It's because the IQ on my mag is past 100. Because of that, I'm getting these random little power-ups. Neat. Thank you, Dreamcast Mag. Alright, so let's keep a close eye on our friend here. Stay close. And hopefully we'll be able to knock most of these out before they really cause a problem. Okay, sweet. Here we go. This is going to be an easy one. Hello, Falls. A couple of people, if you noticed my vibration tremor pack here going off, have asked about it, and it's actually the third-party Mad Catz one. And I like it a lot. Most people don't like Mad Catz products, but this particular tremor pack is really nice. I like it much better than the first party one, because of course it has the LED that goes off also when it shakes, but I've just noticed the tremor pack in and of itself is quite powerful too, which is kind of nice. Okay, let's wait for our friend to tag him, and we'll just devastate him, and then we'll wrap it up and put it in the... There we go. Perfect. That's what I wanted to see. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, Minkoff. Boom, boom, boom. Done. Later, Falls. There's the little ring. Cool. We did it. Was there ever any doubt? Good, I'm glad I'm making you want this system. You should get one. They're still relatively cheap. The only thing that's going to set you back a lot is if you want the little frills that come with it, like a proper VGA box, and you know, if you want to upscale it. I'm hit or miss with suggesting the Akura because it's not compatible with non-VGA games, and lately there's been some people complaining about their cables failing on it, which You can't get those replaced easily, I'll let you know that much. Good game. At least you got 2 more level ups. How much more XP till 18? No prob. That's not too bad. Once you hit 20, then you can start playing on hard mode, and it gets a lot more fun. Okay, cool. Okay, well, let's go back to Pioneer, because I think we're done here. We'll unload some of our gear and we'll upgrade. Well, I shouldn't say upgrade, but we'll feed our mag if we can. Mag, give item, sweet. Give item, sweet. Give item, sweet. That's cool. I totally forgot that if you have a good sync with your mag, you can just get these extra little attribute boosts every once in a while. So should have probably known that, but slipped my mind because I was wondering who is. Oh shoot! I don't have any cash. I was wondering who's helping boost up my character attributes. Okay, so let's unload our mag in the bank, so that way we don't lose anything. Deposit item. Dreamcast mag, yes. Do we have to talk anymore to complete that? Talk to the guild guy. Yeah, you don't want to exit this quest or else you won't get, I think you get like 40 photon points or something like that. We might actually get rank A, but I think we'll probably get rank B because my partner died, I think 4 or 5 times. But we'll see. Oh, the frequency is 6. I think we got rank B. Oh, that's too bad. Rank. Yeah, we got B rank. Oh well, not a big deal. You just get a couple of extra little prizes if we get A rank. And we don't get any photon points. Oh well, we tried. Okay, so let's save our game. Save 1. Character data saved. And we already said goodbye to our friend. And let's quit the game. Disconnect. Sweet. Do not remove memory card. And there we go. Alright guys, that's it for tonight. I'm going to call it quits. Thanks for joining in the stream. Thank you very much for that lovely donation. It's kind of nice. Like, I didn't realize you could donate. The donation would show up on the chat. That's kind of amazing, actually. Shows you how unexperienced I am with this kind of stuff. But anyways, yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I really like doing these streams. Tomorrow, hopefully we can get on early enough that we can participate in the new character build through the Dreamcast Junkyard official Phantasy Star online game night. We'll see. They play a bit early, and typically I don't have that opportunity to play, but I'm going to really try. In the meantime, thanks again, everybody, for watching. I really, really appreciate it. I'm going to start including some Amazon affiliate links to some of the equipment that I use. In case you are interested in playing and using some of the devices that I use, you know, by all means, pick them up wherever you can. But if you do choose to use Amazon, if you wouldn't mind using the links, that would be appreciated. And we'll see what happens. In the meantime, have a great night, and we will talk to you later. Take care.